Hello everyone! Today we're going to be doing something really fun. We're going to be ranking each of the official translated names for Ace Attorney, I don't even know what it's called, Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Gambit. As you may know, the original game came out in 2012, but it was never localized in the West. It was always that one game that got away. That's not true. The Great Ace Attorney also didn't come out for a while. Regardless, there was a fan translation in 2014, and so for about a decade, we've been using unofficial names to refer to a lot of these characters. So only recently have there been data mines of pretty much the entire cast of characters. So now that we officially know their names, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to rank each of these new names in terms of like how much I think it fits with a character and how much I just like it. And maybe on the side we'll talk about how they compare to the previous names. I will say right off the bat, I actually do like these names. I know a lot of people aren't fans of certain names, but for me, I'm like, for most of these names, I think they're massive improvements. Some of them are like crazily improved, I guess. Now, let's start out with Nicole Swift. So the first case starts, and right now there's a demo actually. You can see that very first case, and there is a character who is kind of like Lotta, and her name is Nicole Swift in the fan-translated version. I never really liked that name because Nicole that's just a normal name. Swift is like, okay, she's fast, and that's really about it. Like, it just felt kind of generic. Nicole herself, in the fan-translated version, is kind of boring as a character, because I believe how the fan-translated version works is that it's a very direct Japanese to English translation, meaning that there's a lot of samey sort of dialogue, a lot of the quirkiness that you get from the other Ace Attorney games is kind of missing. Based on the demo, a lot of that's there. Nicole is her name's not Nicole anymore. Her name is now Tabby Lloyd. Tabby, or should I call her Lloyd? I don't know. Lloyd is a lot more interesting in the demo because she's kind of sassy, she uses all caps a bit, she's defensive, and I think that's just going to be a thing for the rest of these characters, where a lot of them, whether you like to admit it or not, they're not that memorable. Some of the major players, like what used to be called Horace Knightley, Justine Courtney, Sebastian DeBest, all these characters, they're memorable, but a lot of the side ones are just kind of there, and I do think that the localized version of these games, the official version of these games, will drive home a lot more memorability. Nicole is the first example of it, and I'm excited to see how the rest goes. I've seen screenshots of the boxer character talking, and he seems to be a lot more personality-driven than before, so that's just really exciting that, this translation, this official version, will breathe new life into these characters, some of which are kind of boring. Nicole is the first one. Her name is now Tabby Lloyd. For a while, we only knew the Lloyd part. A lot of people were theorizing whether her name was Tabby Lloyd or Polaroid, like Polaroid. In hindsight, yeah, it was obviously Tabitha Lloyd. And I think that's a really cute name. I quite like it. It's like, it doesn't feel like a normal name, and obviously it's Ace Attorney. Most names are very goofy. But this is one that I think, it's a cute pun. I like Tabby Lloyd. It's a very cute pun. I'm going to give it a B tier. I don't think it's like amazing or anything, but I do think that it's a massive improvement from Nicole Swift. I'm not a big fan of Nicole Swift. This one is funny. His name is Bastian Rook. His original name was Ethan Rook, with an E at the end. I do think that getting rid of the E in Rook makes it a bit more direct. I mean, it's Ace Attorney. Saying an Ace Attorney character's name is on the nose is basically, like, you're not saying anything like that, okay? It's Ace Attorney, come on. Ethan Rook is like, that's just a normal name. My theory for both Nicole and Ethan is that they just picked, like, normal names, like, based on people who translated the game. So it's like, to pay tribute, you know what? These are minor characters. Let's just throw their first name away. All right, let's just give like a free first name to these people. My buddy's called Ethan, so let's call him Ethan Rook. Why not? Which, like, fair enough. But I like Bastion Rook. It took me a while, but obviously a bastion is like a fortress. I know that because of Minecraft. And a rook is like a castle, so it's pretty good. The name has meaning, and it's funny how the name Sebastian, Sebastian DeBest is no longer here, but the name Bastion is kind of, it's a shorter version of Sebastian, so like the name lives on. It's pretty cool. I like Bastion Rook. Again, combined with the next character, like their last names are literally the chess piece, which is like not the biggest fan of it, but I do like Bastion Rook. I think that it, I'm gonna put it A tier. I can't. You know what? No, I'm actually gonna put an S tier. I like Bastion Rook. It's a pretty good name, despite my grievances. I do think this is a much better name for the character, who, by the way, is not that important for character. By the way, sorry for saying this a bit late, but there will be spoilers. I will spoil some stuff about this game. Based on this preview, you can already see like a pretty big spoiler, but that's kind of the price to pay. Anyway, next up we have, his old name is Horace Knightley. His new name is Bronco Knight. Again, getting rid of the Knightley part into Knight, yeah, I'm a bit sad because like it's too direct to what the theme is, that being chess pieces. But like, I mean, you could pretty much infer it anyway. Horus Knightley, like he just looks like a Horus. This character looks like a Horus, so to change him to something else always felt wrong to me. Kind of like Sebastian. Sebastian just looks like a Sebastian. Granted, that might be because, you know, that's what I'm used to. But Bronco Knight is not bad. I kind of like Bronco Knight. The problem is that when you say Bronco, because I know that some characters will refer to him by his first name, at least in the fan translation. Maybe it'll change. Maybe he won't be called Bronco without his last name. Whenever you say Bronco, I'll think of the horse, right? I'll think of a horse, Bronco. Horus, like, I'm not thinking of the word horse, even though it's very obviously a pun on the word horse. So, like, you can go, Horus, no, horse, but, like, Bronco, no. I'm thinking of a horse when you say Bronco. I do like Bronco, though. There was a fake name for a while. There was a fake leak where his name was Chester Knight, which, like, I don't like that. That doesn't seem great. But Bronco Knight, that one's better. I'm gonna put it in A tier, just because, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's not bad. It's just, I don't know. Like, the first name Bronco by itself is just weird. It does fit, like, his tough guy persona, though. And I do like how in his objection, which, by the way, has also been data mined, he seems a lot more sarcastic and quippy. And I kind of like that. I think that fits the character really well. Next up, we have Dijun Wang. His original name was Dijun Huang, but they changed it to Dijun Wang. I'm guessing it's because it's a more fitting translation. It's, like, a more direct from the Japanese text. I read somewhere that they didn't want to call him Dijun Wang because the word Wang can be kind of dirty. The sad news is, Huang in Chinese means yellow, so, I mean, you get unfortunate connotations there, calling him President Yellow. So they didn't really have a great, you know, choice either way, but at least this one is more accurate. Dijun Wang. I don't really know where to put it. I mean, I'm just gonna put it like I'm gonna put an already name. Like, this is basically his Japanese name, more or less. So I'm gonna put him in already name. Like, I'm gonna give that to Delicia as well. Delicia Scones, her name is, like, kind of the Japanese Anglification of Delicia Scones. It's funny how in the fan-translated version and the official version, her name is Delicia Scones and then now Delicia Scone. But, like, you know what? They probably looked at it and they were like, you know, that's close enough to a name. Let's go with that. Maybe it's a tribute. Maybe it's a tribute to the fan translation. Who knows? But yeah, those two characters were ones that were already named. Next up, we have, and by the way, I'm listing these characters in terms of when they're introduced, at least in my head. I don't quite remember. Eddie Fender. I know a lot of people weren't a big fan of this because, like, you know, he's a major character in the game, and he gets, like, kind of a really boring pun name, Eddie Fender, a defender, which is, like, it's fine, but, like, he kind of does look like an Edward, like an Eddie. Hey, come here, Uncle Eddie's here, give me a hug. I kind of like that. Fender also gives off, like, this tough vibe, and I believe, I might be wrong, but, like, a Fender, like, protects a car, so it's like, he's like a shield, it's like a defense attorney, I don't know. I think it's fine. I think Fender works by itself, I think Eddie works by itself. Eddie Fender, you do have to say it, like, a few times to get the joke, like, it took me a while to get it, and it is kind of, like, it's kind of a not so great pun, but I don't think he'll be referred to Eddie Fender that often. Right, but I do like it. I do think Eddie suits this tough guy, almost detective-esque persona, so I'm gonna give it, like, I'm gonna give it B. Like, I never really vibed with his original name, Raymond Shields, anyway. So Eddie Fender is like, yeah, this one works. This one works for me. This one is a big improvement. I do not like his original name. I thought J. Elbert was such a boring, like, on the nose, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, straightforward name. Like, at least with something like Luke Atme, at least, like, you can reasonably buy someone's last name being Atme, I guess. But, like, J. Elbert, it's like Jailbird. It's so, like, I don't know. There's something about it that just, it's probably my least favorite name, and now it's not canon anymore, so it's great. It's not even canon anymore. I think Rocco Carceretto is so much better. Again, I've seen screenshots of the game, and it looks like he has a lot more personality to him. Maybe, I believe he's, like, referred to, like, the Italian Stallion at one point. Isn't that, like, Sylvester Stallone's, like, nickname or something like that? Anyway, like, Rocco, the reference to, like, Rocky, it's great. Carcerado, it's, like, incarcerated. That one took me a while as well. It's like, I like this name. I like Rocco Carcerado. I think it's great. Like, he's such a minor character, but, like, such a good name. Like, Rocco Carcerado, I love it. Great name. Great name all around. Next up, we have the big one. Sebastian the Best is now Eustace Winner. I mean, he kind of looks like Eustace. I like Eustace because it's such a dorky, loserly kind of name. When you first meet him, he's kind of a loser, so, like, that fits. Like, I don't know, I like Eustace. It has a lot of, not layers to it, but a lot of, like, reasons behind it. Like, firstly, you know, Eustace sounds like useless, right? Eustace, useless, useless, Eustace. Secondly, Eustace, like, it's like how a accented person would say justice. Apollo Eustace! I am Apollo Eustace! I kind of like that. Like, I'm surprised it hasn't been used yet. I'm also surprised that the name Courtney hasn't been used yet. I know Justine Courtney had it in the fan translated, but, you know, now that that's not official, we never really had a Courtney. We had a Constance Court in Dual Destinies, but, like, never a Courtney. Anyway, also, Eustace has the word ace in it, like Ace Attorney, and I think that's pretty great. I like the name Eustace. I'm surprised it hasn't been used before, and I'm happy that it's been, you know, it's finally being used for this character. I'm so happy about that. That being said, Winner. I don't like Winner. I don't think it's great. I think if it was like with a Y, like Winner with a Y, or even Win, or even, I think the French version, he's just Victor, like Eustace Victor. I'm like, that is so much better. Why don't you go Eustace Victor? Like, at least, like, Winner just sounds so direct. But I do like Eustace. I know a lot of people have problems with one part of his name or the other. You know, like, I don't like Winner, but it's not the worst thing ever. Like, it doesn't, like, kill the name for me. I think it's B tier. I do think Sebastian the Best is probably, like, one of the best names to come out of the fan translation, so to lose that is very sad. But I mean, Eustace Winner, I'll get used to it. I'll get used to it. I like the Eustace part. Eventually, I'll like the Winner part. Next up, we have Justine Courtney. Sorry, that's not her name anymore. Verity Gavel. I think Verity Gavel is a great name for this character. I really like Verity Gavel. Like, they made her French, which is kind of funny because her and Patricia Rowland and even Catherine Hall in our Let's Play, we made her French, so it's kind of funny that, like, the prophecy has kind of come true. Like, there's just something about them is just very, like, French-coded. I guess British as well. The overruled objection that she has was, sounds a bit British, but, like, I like Justine Courtney. I thought the name was, like, it's a very feminine-sounding name, but a bit too, like, obvious. Verity Gavel is a lot less obvious, and I kind of like it. Verity means truth, Gavel, but also it's stylized to look French, and I think that's pretty cool. I like Verity Gavel. I'm gonna put this in S tier. This is, by the way, this is not like ranked based on how much I like him. I'm just putting them in the tiers. They're not like, you know, against each other. So, like, you know, I would put, like, if it was, I would put Verity Gavel as my favorite so far, but, like, it's not a ranked tier list, I guess. Next up is probably my least favorite one, but it's not an F tier, but it's my least favorite, Fifi Lagarde. I don't know, like, Fifi is a name you give dogs, which makes sense, because, like, she owns a lot of pets, and Lagarde, because she's a guard, and I think the La part is because she's, like, French. Like, Fifi's a stereotypical, like, French poodle name, right? So, I mean, I don't know, like, I don't like it. I don't like Patricia Rowland either. Like, I don't like that name, like, Pat Troll. It's so, like, janky. I don't know if any other name has done that, where it's, like, the first three letters, it's like the first few letters of one name, and the second few letters, or the first few letters of the second name. I don't know if they've done that, like, the joke is Patrol, but, like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. It was always messy to me, and so Fifi Lagarde, it's also just not a great name. I'm gonna give her D, like, D tier. She's, like, no, it's fine, it's whatever. That's probably the name I'm the most, like, meh on, honestly. Next up, we have Simon Keys. And I love his name. I think his name, it's not as good as Sebastian the Best, of course, but it was one of my favorite for the fan translation. I actually really like his name in the official version, Simeon Saint. It's funny to me how both of these names went for the monkey joke, but, like, and it's like Simon and Simeon, they're like one letter apart, but, like, they're still going for it. Like, if anyone were to keep, like, their the same first, other than Delisha, of course. You know, well, I would want it to be Sebastian, but, like, it going to Simon is that works too. Like, Simon Simeon, I love that. His last name is Saint, which is a little on the nose, but at the same time, it's like no new player is gonna fall for it unless they know it's coming, right? You know, it's like he's a saint. You're defending him at first. It's like you're not gonna think he's the mastermind. The only thing that might tip him off is, like, his name is a little too goody-goody, right? But I like Simeon Saint. I love this name. I like how he is no saint. I bet he's gonna say that at one point. He's gonna say, "I'm no saint. I'm Simeon Saint." I don't know. I like it. You know, again, Simon Keys has monkeys in it, and Simeon, of course, Simeon is a monkey, so it's pretty great. It's pretty great how those two names are very similar, and yet they have the same kind of, like, monkey joke. So that's great. I like Simeon Saint. Also, if you say his name fast, Simeon Saint, it sounds like semi-insane, and I think that's, like, I don't think that's intentional, but if it is, that's really good. It's intentional. That is really, really good. I'm gonna give it A tier. I don't think it's, like, perfect, but, like, it is pretty good. It is pretty darn good. We have Sirhan Dogan next, and I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Bohid Harma Canis. Canis? I don't know. Sirhan Dogan was always like a very interesting name to me because Sirhan is the guy who murdered Bobby Kennedy, and Dogan has the word dog in it, but also Doge, which I think was the joke they were going for. Like, his name has Doge in it, like the 2013 meme. This came out, the translated thing came out in 2014, I think so. That's like a definite possibility. And also, like, you know, it's an assassin who uses a dog. It's a pretty layered name. I think Sirhan means wolf as well. I always thought that was one of the more layered names, but like, Bohid Harma Canis, it's like, I don't know how to pronounce it. Like, Bohid Harm, like body harm, but also it has body hide. And I think Bohid Harma is a reference to an actual Buddhist, so like that's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a very long name, but like I don't think they'll ever really refer to him by his first name. I don't think they ever call him Sirhan. They always call him by his last name Dogan, so they'll probably only refer to him as Canis, like canine. I think it's something else. It's not coming to mind what it could. Let me look at the wiki actually really quick to see what it could be. But like, I don't know. I like the first name is just it's too long for me, Bohid Harma. But I don't know how to pronounce it, man. Like, this is gonna be like the Godot for most other people, because like, firstly, whenever people call him Godot or Godot, it pisses me off. It's like it's Godot. Come on, guys. But like this one, I don't know how to pronounce it. Canis, yeah, like canine, but also it's the genus that includes species like dogs and wolves, according to the wiki. Okay, it's pretty good. I'll give it A. I like it. It's not like I'll give it B. Honestly, I'm a lower it actually. I don't know. The first name, I get what they're going for, but it's a bit long. It's a bit long. Next up we have, his old name was Jeffrey Master, and I never liked that name. That was one of the names that I did not care for. Now his name is Samson Tangaroa. I think they're going for his Polynesian, the vibes that he gives, but also like Samson. It's like, that's like the big guy in the Bible who, like, he loses his hair. It's kind of like how his hair grays, and he loses his strength and will to live. I like that. Samson Tangaroa, like, Master Jeff. It's like, I never liked that one. I really never liked that one. But this one, Samson Tangaroa, I like that. He looks like a Samson. He looks like a badass. I like it. I'm gonna put it like Tangaroa. Like, it has tango in it, so it's like, because he's a dancer. But like, I think that's it. I don't know if Tangaroa means anything in whatever language it came from. But I'm gonna give it S. I actually kind of like this name, Samson Tangaroa. It's like, oh, badass name. Jeffrey Masters. Next up, we have Catherine Hall. Her new name is Judy Bound. Like, Duty Bound. That's about it. I mean, I never cared for the word Catherine either, and hopefully, like, she's like one of the characters who I feel like is really boring in the fan-translated version. I think in the official one, they'll give her more personality. They'll make her more proactive and all that, so that's exciting. Judy Bound, it's like, I guess it's not bad. I don't know. It's to the point. I gotta put in C. It's to the point, but it's like, I don't know. I'm surprised that neither Samson nor Judy's names have anything to do with like cooking or being a chef, which is like, I'm happy for it, but like, I don't know. Judy Bound, I don't know. It's smart though. I'll give it that. It is smart. I just don't like it. Next up we have Dane Gustavia. I never liked the Dane part of his name. He doesn't look like a Dane. The Gustavia part, it's like, okay, that sounds somewhat Eastern European. I think that's what they're going for with this guy. His new name is Carmelo Gusto. I think that's great. Obviously Caramel, because he's like, you know, he makes sweets. You got Gusto, which is like a Spanish term, I think, used to refer to like chefs and taste and all that. But also, and this is like probably not intentional, but like I like how he's, if you're really stretching for pop culture references, his name could be a reference to two chefs. You got Carmi from The Bear, and you got Gusto from Ratatouille. That's kind of funny, especially because Simeon, kind of has a Ratatouille joke, I think, with the monkey controlling him by the... I don't know. Yeah, I like this name, Carmelo Gusto. It's not like S tier, but it's definitely like, yeah, he looks like Carmelo Gusto. Like Dane Gustavia, it's like, but like Carmelo Gusto, it's, yeah, I like that. That's an A tier name for me. A lot of these characters I just don't care for, but I'm curious to see that if I play the the official version, will they have a lot more like depth and fun to them? I think so. Like the Eastern localizers are really good at their job. Based on both no offense to both versions of the fan-translated Ace Attorney Investigations 2 and also the Great Ace Attorney. No offense to those people, but like I do think when you compare the two, it's night and day. It's really, they have this magic of just bringing these characters to life, who like in the Japanese text, maybe they're not the most interesting, but like they just really elevate it to new heights. And maybe that's why it's so popular in the West. maybe that's why Ace Attorney has people have realized just how amazing these games are. Next up, we have a character who is dead. It's Isaac Dover. His name is Artie Frost, Artist, and Frost because he gets frozen. You know, and maybe even frozen in the sweets. I don't know. Artie Frost. That's pretty good. Artie Frost. Yeah, I mean, it's direct. It's straightforward. I don't think it's amazing, but like, yeah, that suits him. It's pretty like I think what is it, Isaac Dover? I don't know what that is. It's just a name. Let me look. Isaac Dover. Where's Isaac Dover? He's not on the list. What? 1 second. Can't quite find him. Here we go. What is the joke? What is the pun in his name? Or the reference? Or whatever. Isaac Hyodo. Ice Hall? Ice Sculpture? Okay. No, that's the Japanese version, sorry. Iced Over. Isaac Dover. Isaac Dover. I mean, it's kind of a stretch, I think, but like Artie Frost, you know, Frost is an actual last name, so it's like, I'm sure Dover is also an actual last name, but like, I don't know, it's just a noun. Is Frost a noun? I guess it's noun, yeah. Noun, last name, and it works, so yeah, Artie Frost, I quite like that one. Next up, we have Bonnie Young. Her new name is Hilda Hertz, like Heal the Hertz, and it'll be called the Hertz Hospital. That's pretty great. I don't think it's amazing, but like, I quite like that. I'm gonna put in B tier. Hilda Hertz. Like, Hilda is like, I like how Bonnie is kind of like a young girl's name, so you kind of lose that joke with Hilda, is like, you know, now that's like a, you know, old lady name, but like, I guess that was a joke by the fan translation. It wasn't a joke in the original text anyway, so I mean, you're not really losing anything. It's like net neutral, I guess. It's like Bonnie Young. It sounds like a young girl, but it's an old lady. Yeah, Hilda Hertz. I like that. That one's fine. This one is Florence Needler, like Florence Nightingale, but also Needler, because she uses needlers. This one was always one that I really didn't know how to, like, I was making a bunch of fake names for these characters, like theory names, I guess, and I could not think of one for this character. I did not know how to call her. Karen Jensen, or is it Karine Jensen? I don't know. Karen Jensen, it's like Jensen, like injection. Okay, that one works. But like Florence Needler, that seems like a real name, but like, yeah, Florence Nightingale and also Needler, so it's like, yeah, I kind of like that one. I'm gonna put in B as well. I don't like have any strong feelings towards it, but like, I like it. Like you say like, oh, yeah, remember what Karen said in Investigations 2? And it'll be like, who's Karen? Where are these characters? Like, half these characters, you're not gonna remember their name. I feel like now they stand out more. Like when you say Samson or Judy or Florence, it's like, oh, it stands out more. You're probably gonna use their last names rather than their first names, but like, you know, you have more attachment to it. Here we have Excelsius Winter, and I think that is awesome. You got Excelsior, and Celsius all in one. It's pretty great. It's not really a name, but it's pretty great. I know his original name was like Banzai, or Banzai, which is just a thing people shout, so like Excelsior, that's what Stan Lee says. That's pretty cool. The winter part, I don't know. Like, it's not a bad name. I like this one. I'm gonna put an A tier. Excelsius Winter. Like right off the bat, it's like, oh, this guy means business. Like Blaze is like, that's such a, like, I know that like the joke is like Blaze, but like, I don't know, man. But Excelsius, it's like, ooh, yeah. Next up, we have Jill Crane. We only have one living character left. But next we have Jill Crane. Her new name is Rosie Ringer. Ring Around the Rosie. And that goes in tandem with this guy. His original name was Jack Cameron. He's like Camera, but also maybe James Cameron. And his name is now I'll Fall Down, or All Fall Down, like Ring Around the Rosie, Pocket Full Posy, Ashes to Ashes, We All Fall Down. It's pretty great. The original thing was a reference to a Japanese nursery rhyme, I guess, and then they localized it, or not localized, the fan translation made it a Jack and Jill thing, but now it's like a Ring Around the Rosie thing. And I think, you know what? I like it. I kind of like it. Rosie Ringer, she also has like a rose, and she gets stabbed with it. That is pretty solid. That's a pretty solid way to go about it. I'll Fall Down, it's like, I don't know. Sorry, I gotta take a sip from my can. I'll Fall Down is like, that's... Yeah, like, I'll Fall Down, that's a name I don't really mind, even though it's not, like, because, like, Alf? I think it's like Alf? Or is it Alf? Alf Fall Down. That's not really how you pronounce that name, but, it works. I like it. It's not as good as Rosie Ringer. Rosie Ringer is like boom, but like I'll fall down. It's you're just kind of finishing the pun. I'm gonna put in C. It's fine. Amy Marsh is now Emily Marsh. Sorry, Amy Marsh is now Emily Finn. Finn is a Marsh. It's pretty great. What is an Emily though? What is it like? Because it's like French and you're trying to relate it to Verity? Like maybe? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one. Emily Marsh, Amy Marsh. I don't know. You know, like she's not really an important character. I'm just gonna put in D. I'm gonna put in D with Fifi Lagarde. It's serviceable. Sean Fenn, on the other hand, that one is, I don't know what the joke is, other than the whole Marsh is a Fenn thing. This one was always a character that really struggled to be named, because originally it was like John Marsh, which is like, you know, like John Marston, the cowboy in Red Dead Redemption 2. Now it's Sean, and I think the reason why is because his dad is Dijun Huang, or Dijun Wang, so you want to keep that Jun part. The Jun part is close to Jean. Now it's like the Jun part is close to Sean, I guess, so it's like maybe that's why. But also Sean Penn, the actor, you know, firstly he's an actor, but also he got an Oscar for the movie Milk. So maybe that's why Sean Fenn is named that way. I don't know, it seems like a really weird stretch. I thought that like the Sirhan Dogan thing was weird, but now they're doing a Sean Penn reference, which might be like one of the most obscure references to anyone in any of these games. But like, I don't mind it. I think like John Marsh was the most like, not like outright bad like J. Elbert, but it was the most like whatever. That's just kind of a normal name. I'm gonna put Sean Fenn in C. Like I don't know, maybe there's a really great pun that I'm missing out on, but otherwise he goes in C. Sean Fenn, he goes in C. We got a few more characters. This guy is just the normal guy. This is Dai Long Lang. I think his name is now Da Long Lang. So they kind of like Dijun Huang. They just kind of corrected his name. It's fine. Put him already established. The big mystery, right? The big mystery is Replacer. No one knows what his name is currently. Maybe he doesn't have a name. Maybe the joke will be like, oh, it's this detective, and like because they don't want him to seem more important than he actually is, they won't name him. That might be what they're going for. I don't know. Maybe Replacer will have like the greatest pun name ever, or they'll just straight out erase him. I don't know. No one's found it yet, but I don't know. I'm excited for Replacer. At the moment, I'm gonna put him in already named. He doesn't have a name yet. Yeah. So here's my tier list for the Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutors Gambit names. I think they're pretty solid. Some of them are pretty big improvements. The only one that I'm like kind of meh on is Fifi Lagarde. That's the only one that I'm like, and I didn't like Patricia Rowland in the first place. I didn't like that name in the first place. So it's really like nothing gained, nothing lost for her. A lot of these names, big improvements. So yeah, that's great. So thank you all for watching this very rambly tier list video. I hope to see you guys next time. And yeah, take care, everyone.